They say that behind the gentle smile and fragile gaze of Natalie Wood lay a childhood far darker than the golden frames Hollywood built around her. There's a rumor, one that has never been proven, that as a young girl, she was abused by powerful men in the film industry. No evidence, no court, only whispers that have lingered for decades. But if you look closely at Natalie's performances, the fear in her eyes doesn't feel like acting. It feels real, like an invisible scar hidden beneath layers of makeup. A woman who learned to stay silent in a world that punished vulnerability. And the cruelest twist of all, the woman who had been terrified of water her entire life, met her and at sea on a night when no one truly knows what happened. If you believe that behind every star lies an untold story, hit subscribe and join us as we uncover the secrets, sorrows, and fragile beauty behind the bright lights of Hollywood. Natalie Wood, the radiant star of West Side Story and Rebel, without a cause, became one of the most dazzling icons of Hollywood's golden age. Born in 1938 in San Francisco to Russian immigrant parents, little Natalia was only 5 when her mother first took her to a film set. Maria, a dreamy and superstitious woman, believed her daughter was born to be a star, destined to bring the family the salvation she herself had never known. From her earliest roles, Natalie mesmerized directors and audiences alike with eyes that could speak and a smile that was both innocent and inexplicably sad. But for her, this wasn't a game, it was destiny, tying her life to the blinding glare of the spotlight. Some say that during a scene where she needed to cry, Maria grabbed a small butterfly and tore its wings in front of her child, just to make Natalie shed real tears. In that instant, the little girl learned a brutal truth. In this world, her emotions didn't belong to her, they belonged to the audience. From then on, Natalie Wood mastered the art of acting through fear, a gift that would make her a legend, but steal her childhood forever. At just 9 years old, Natalie Wood starred in The Green Promise. In one scene, she had to run across a wooden bridge under pouring artificial rain. But the bridge collapsed a few seconds earlier than planned. Natalie plunged into the cold water, nearly drowned, broke her wrist, and the shot was kept in the final film because it looked too real. From that day on, water became her greatest fear. The mere sound of waves was enough to make her shiver, as if the past itself were trying to pull her under. 30 years later, fate played its cruelest trick. The woman who had feared water all her life met her end at sea, on a night when no one truly knows what happened. Some fears aren't just obsessions, they're prophecies. What do you think about this? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss the hidden stories behind Hollywood's brightest lights. At just 16, Natalie Wood skyrocketed to fame with Rebel Without a Cause, becoming a symbol of American youth. On screen, she played a rebellious girl with invisible wounds. Off-screen, she was navigating a world of power and temptation. Director Nicholas Ray, 42 years old at the time, was drawn to her fragility. Their relationship would leave a scar on Natalie that never truly healed. The film brought her fame and an Oscar nomination, but it also stole the innocence of her 16-year-old self. People often said that in Hollywood back then, the line between audition and compromise was as blurry as the glow of a movie spotlight. That same year, her mother arranged a meeting with a major star at Chateau Marmont. A chance for her career, they said. No one knows what really happened behind that closed door. According to Little Sister, the memoir written by her younger sister Lana Wood, Natalie returned quiet and hollow-eyed, whispering only, "He hurt me." The claim was never proven. But from that night on, Natalie's smile was never quite the same, and in her eyes, even in her most dazzling performances, there was always a flicker of fear no acting could fake. According to Lana Wood, when their mother Maria learned that something might have happened to her daughter, she didn't rage, she didn't protect her, she simply went silent. Then came the cold, knife-sharp advice: be quiet. If you speak, your career will be over. Back then, Hollywood was not a place for girls who dared to tell the truth. One scandal could destroy a future, and Maria believed silence was the only way to survive. From that day on, Natalie Wood never spoke of it again. No lawsuit, no police report, no tears. She simply went back to set, smiling for the camera, crying on cue, as if her pain was only allowed to exist when the director called, "Action!" According to biographer Suzanne Finstad, Natalie Wood wasn't hurt just once. There were vague accounts, whispers, really, that she had been taken advantage of multiple times by other powerful men in Hollywood. No names, no evidence, no accusations, just fragments of memory, scattered and silent that even she avoided revisiting. That fear slowly crept into her everyday life. Natalie would double-check the locks before going to bed and never slept in total darkness. In one interview, she once said, "I love the light, because in the dark, my imagination becomes dangerous." She gave unforgettable performances, because every tear she shed on screen came from real pain. And while audiences praised her talent, no one realized that those expressive eyes were quietly telling the stories she could never speak aloud. By the 1960s, Natalie Wood had become one of the 3 highest-paid actresses in Hollywood. Her name was tied to cinematic classics like Splendor in the Grass, West Side Story, and Love with the Proper Stranger, roles that helped her break free from the little girl image and transform into a true icon. On the red carpet, she was a goddess in white satin. On screen, she was the American dream, fragile yet radiant. She had everything: beauty, awards, love, and the kind of status thousands of young actresses could only dream of. But behind the lights, Natalie battled panic attacks, insomnia, and nameless nightmares. There was a night when she took too many sleeping pills, a desperate attempt to quiet her mind, if only for a few hours. Some say the wound she carried since she was 16 never truly healed. Fame was just a glamorous dress wrapped around her fear, and the spotlight only kept the darkness away for a little while. Years after heartbreak and storms, Natalie Wood found something she thought she'd lost forever: love. The man was none other than Robert Wagner, the same person she had admired since she was 10 years old, when she stood backstage on a film set and whispered to her mother, "I'm going to marry him someday." Now, that childhood dream had become reality. They remarried and moved into a white house by the California coast, raising their 2 little girls together. Every morning, Natalie would make coffee and open the windows to let the sunlight in. People said she looked happier than ever, as if the darkness had never touched her. Life. The press called them Hollywood's golden couple, proof that even the deepest wounds could be forgiven. But perhaps only Natalie knew how fragile that peace truly was, as fragile as the oceans. Surface before a storm. In November 1981, Natalie Wood and Robert Wagner set sail with actor Christopher Walken aboard a yacht named Splendor, a name that sounded like a cruel prophecy, whispering both glamour and tragedy. That night they dined, drank, laughed. And then, somewhere in the cold winds of the Pacific, laughter turned into a heated argument. According to the captain, there were the sounds of breaking glass, something falling, and then a long, chilling silence. By morning, the ocean lay still, as if nothing had happened and except Natalie's body was found floating near the shore. She was still wearing her evening gown, barefoot, her skin cold, with strange bruises marking her body. The official report concluded, accidental drowning. But few believed it. How could a woman who feared water so deeply have willingly stepped off a boat into the dark ocean? Was it coincidence? Or a haunting reminder that no one can truly escape the things they try to forget? "30 years later, the death of Natalie Wood remains one of Hollywood's missing puzzle pieces. In 2011, the captain of the Splendor finally broke his silence. He claimed there had been an argument that night. And when Natalie disappeared, Robert Wagner allegedly said coldly, "Don't bother looking." No distress signal, no explanation. In 2018, Wagner was named a person of interest. But, as with so many stories tied to the famous, the truth still drifts somewhere between suspicion and silence. Today, Natalie Wood is remembered not only for her extraordinary talent but also as a symbol of women forced into silence in an era when fame often overshadowed justice. She once said, "The only time I'm truly safe is when I'm acting." And maybe, only in that imagined world was she ever allowed to choose her own ending. If you believe that behind the bright lights lie stories yet to be told, subscribe and join us as we uncover the most beautiful and heartbreaking corners of Hollywood.